you're part of the online automotive scene at all, you've probably heard about California's new law about exhaust. If your car is louder than 95 decibels, you could get a big fine, like $1,000.
Any modification to exhaust, you shall go before a judge, and it's a $1,000 fine.
But I've seen a lot of confusion and misinformation out there, so I'm gonna tell you the truth about this new law. So right up front, you should know that every state has laws that limit excessive engine noise. Save your California jokes because this could happen in your state. I'm talking to you, Montana. I found this map on the SEMA Action Network. That's the Specialty Equipment Market Association. They're the lobby for aftermarket manufacturers. It's their job to know this stuff. Anyway, they've got this map showing the exhaust laws for every state, and it's pretty much the same across the country. If your car makes excessive noise, you're gonna get a ticket. SEMA recently released a fact-checking sheet about this whole California ordeal, and it lays out the facts pretty well. To my surprise, the laws limiting exhaust noise in California, they haven't changed since 2003. If the gross weight or maximum operating weight of a vehicle comes in under 6,000 pounds, the exhaust may not exceed a sound level of 95 decibels. So the law about noise has not changed. It's not illegal to install an exhaust on your car in California, as long as it doesn't exceed 95 decibels. And remember, this has been law since 2003. But how loud is 95 decibels, really? So it's important to note that decibels work on a logarithmic scale. It's kind of complicated, but a good rule of thumb is that if something is 10 decibels louder, that means it sounds twice as loud to human ears. So even though 80 and 90 don't seem like a very big difference, it's gonna sound twice as loud. But we're gonna take some other readings to give you a point of reference. 85 decibels. Oh, this way. 90 decibels.
Wait, dude, push it down all the way.
What? Oh. 99.9 decibels. So if the sound level didn't change and it's still not illegal to put louder exhaust in your car, then why the heck is everyone freaking out? Well, until this year, it wasn't that big a deal if you got popped for loud exhaust. The police officer would just issue a fix-it ticket, which means you either pay a fine or provide proof of correction to a judge. They gave you an out. You could throw your stock exhaust back on your car and have a police officer, DMV agent, or court clerk sign off on your ticket that you made the necessary changes. After paying a small dismissal fee, you were free to go. But that's not the case anymore. California Assembly Bill 1824 took away that option. Now, if an officer catches you, you're getting a fine no matter what. The suggested base fine and fees for a first-time offense comes out to $193, which is a little less than $1,000, which I've seen all over the internet. According to this traffic infraction schedule for 2019, there is a way to rack up a fine that big, but you have to dump a lot of smoke out of your exhaust or install a whistle tip.
The whistles got woo!
If you get a ticket and you're sure your car doesn't break 95 dBs, there is a way to avoid paying the fine. You can bring your car to the California Bureau of Automotive Repair and demonstrate that the car does not exceed the sound limit. You will be awarded a certificate of compliance, which a judge can use to dismiss the citation. It's kind of a pain in the butt to jump through all those hoops, but at least you're not paying a fine. It's also worth noting that you can't get the bar test until after you've been cited. So if you have a loud car, but you don't think it breaks the law, cross your fingers, I guess. If your car is guilty, it's pretty much the same process. You gotta either put the stock exhaust back on, or at the very least, a quieter exhaust, then bring it to the state referee who will sign off on your car and give you that same certificate. And then you go to the judge, but you'll still have to pay the bigger fine. Okay, so what is the actual law? It says that your car can't be louder than 95 decibels when tested in accordance with the Society of Automotive Engineers Standard J1169. This standard lays out the exact testing procedure to see if a car passes under the 95 decibel limit. The procedure goes like this. A shop places their microphone at the same height as the exhaust outlet, no closer than 8 inches to the ground. It's also got to be parallel to the ground, 20 inches away from the outlet, and 45 plus or minus 10 degrees along the axis of the opening. The car is then placed in neutral and revved to 3/4 of maximum RPMs or 3,000 RPM if the car was built before 1972. Also, the test has to be done outside or near an open shop door where no sound reflecting surfaces can be within 10 feet of the car. I have to say, finding that info was a huge pain in the ass. Shout out to Sarah for finding it. So to save you guys some trouble, I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can test it for yourselves. But all this stuff, all the ticket stuff, all the fines, all this hinges on the fact that a police officer has to determine that your car is louder than the limit in the first place, right? Well, how do they do that? Well, they just say it. They say it's louder. To my knowledge, cops aren't rolling around with finely calibrated SAE certified decibel meters in their trunks next to their Remington 870s. Before we keep going, let me know if you got in a ticket with this new law. Let me know how much you've been fined, and like this video. Gang gang. I get if someone's car is super loud, that's probably disturbing the peace, but I don't really think anyone can tell the difference between a legal 93 decibels and an illegal 95. How about we test some of our cars then? These cars pass no problem since their owners didn't install any aftermarket exhaust. But what about cars that come from the factory without any muffler at all? This is a Fiat 500 Abarth. That's our editor Max right there. And these cars, the turbocharger muffles enough noise that they don't need a muffler. Let's see what happens. Go ahead.
How'd I do?
Your car's illegal. 100.7 decibels. Stock. This presents a problem because although the car is technically legal, a police officer can still pull Max over and stick him with a fine. The obvious subjectivity of this law leaves law-abiding owners like Max in a pickle. What is he supposed to do? I guess he could go get a compliance certificate from the bar, but he can't do that until after he gets a ticket. That's stupid. Where do we draw the line? While that's up in the air, there's one more car we have to test. Jimmy, put some mufflers on this thing. The law has good intention, I think, but as it's written, it kind of leaves it open to be abused. Also, I think a good tip, if you don't want to get a big fine, is don't drive like a dick. I think if you get pulled over and you have a lot of exhaust and you're mouthing off, he'll probably hit you with that. So just be nice. Thank you, ExpressVPN, for sponsoring this episode. I spent a lot of time thinking about the internet and privacy on the internet. It's an important issue. Without a virtual private network, all of your internet browsing data can be looked at by your ISP, websites, hackers. Do you ever wonder why websites tell you they're using cookies? That's because they're tracking your browsing history. Okay, that's kind of creepy. But ExpressVPN can end that. ExpressVPN encrypts your internet browsing data, so nosy ISPs and websites don't know what you're looking at. And that's how it should be. For less than $7 a month and a 30-day money-back guarantee, ExpressVPN makes you invisible on the internet. And as an added bonus, a VPN lets you look at streaming sites that aren't available in your country. How cool is that? They have the new Star Wars on European Netflix, go check it out. Take back your internet privacy today and find out how you can get a free 3-month trial by clicking the link in the description below. That's expressvpn.com/wheelhouse. expressvpn.com/wheelhouse for 3 months free with a 1-year package. I know how to spell. Take back your privacy today. Nailed it. Thanks for watching WheelHouse. Like this video if you have a loud exhaust. Like this video if you have a quiet exhaust. Like this video if you like this video. If you want to watch more episodes, then hit that yellow subscribe button right there. Watch last week's episode of WheelHouse. And guys, we have a new show called Bumper to Bumper. It's so awesome. I get hyped every time I watch it. Follow me on Instagram at Nolan J. Sykes. Follow Donut at Donut Media. Be nice. See you next time.